Hi, Jay.
Hi. How are you?
Good. How you doing, Kevin?
Good.
Hi.
Last policy's gone. Last policy's gone. I see the poster.
I'll pull this down just a little bit more because the glare on my computer.
Yeah.
It's not just a pull down pad. Hi, Gary.
Come on up here, guys. Right in front, where we can get a real good look at you.
The purple one.
Yeah.
A little packet for everybody.
Oh, this is amazing. Thank you.
That truck information?
Yep.
Okay.
Well, we're gonna get an A+ for this, I think.
Thanks.
Nope. So far, 7 gallons. I think we're gonna pick up today after not picking up.
I love that picture.
Yeah, this will be fun.
You guys see the
I have a
chip?
copy of it down there at the highway.
Yeah.
Yeah. We haven't had too many of those. People like that. I'm surprised.
How much do we use?
We get a little break for a day or two. We got something maybe coming tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. Thursday morning,
Thursday,
early
yeah.
Thursday morning.
Same stuff, kind of icy, snowy mix. Is that
It
what
could be a
you
little bit of a mess.
Yeah, it's perfect. We're driving to Portland, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's perfect. Of all days, huh?
I have one brother and
Is it supposed to hit early?
Is no.
Supposed to start like 3 a.m.
No.
Although I will say, like, usually like walk, hiking like a ski hill.
Yeah.
House from 1 to 3.
Kind of get some exercise that way. But
We love you, sir.
I was planning on like trying to. Congratulations. But it's been too warm. So I don't want to do this. Yeah.
Well, Barbara put out an email.
John?
I guess we'll probably get into that a little bit. We'll talk about it. So-
Yes, it's on the agenda.
Okay, great.
Hi.
Hi, John.
Hello, Frank. Hello, Frank.
Your little owl device here. It's a panoramic speaker and camera, so the people in the audience can hear better when people speak on Zoom, and the people on Zoom can hear better. And Lycan is loaning it to us for the meeting, because the library owns it.
Nice.
It's very nice, very high-tech job. Surprised you haven't heard about it yet.
No, I haven't. Very surprised.
Hi. No, masks are optional now. And did you guys sign in the back? No. Okay, please. And there's agendas back there as well.
Oh,
I mean, if anything seriously happened, then sort of.
oh, yeah. And you know what, the biggest thing right now, if you want to talk with the old child provider, it's the stomach really. They're like, yeah, it's something is
Thick folder.
not.
The thick folder.
Yeah,
I
nice.
mean, yeah, no kidding. Yeah, that's.
You know, like 2 years ago, my father had it, and Beth and Dee came to bring my father to the hospital. They got it, I got it. We were in
stomach.
It was like some
Some
sort of.
stomach.
Before you start, can you close the door?
Fast, yeah.
It's so bad, it's easy to get. I mean, it's the same stuff that was.
Just,
Yeah.
I think we even have to shut down when
This
it's.
is really thick.
Yeah, it saw the barn was gone at Eagle.
Yes. It's
Gone.
I know.
I don't
I
go
was
that way,
there
but-
one day, but not there the next day, and, looks like they're parsing out the beams, so somebody's probably gonna.
Oh, really?
I hope so. You would think something of that value would be,
That'd be nice.
there's some good stuff in there, so. All right, it is 3:30, I'm gonna press record here, and we'll be all set. Recording in progress. Thank you.
I'm worried
Sit up
about-
straight, Gary.
I'm worried about that.
I recorded all the others. It hoots at you too, John, so. All right, we'll call the meeting to order at 3:30 on March 22nd. We always start our meetings now with the Pledge of Allegiance, so if everyone would please stand. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. We have approval of the minutes from February 22nd, 2022. Did you guys have any questions or comments, changes?
From what I remember, I think they're fine.
I'll take a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion, we approve the last minutes of February 22nd.
And I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. There you go. And then we also had a non-public after that meeting, and we decided we will keep those meeting minutes sealed, so I will take a motion for that as well.
I'll make a motion to seal those non-public minutes from February 22nd, 2022.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
2/22/22.
22, yes. In the books. It's on the edge. All right, so first order of business is to appoint a chairman for the upcoming period after the town meeting. Did you have some comments or thoughts on that?
Yeah, typically it's given to the person who's up for election the following year. My status is somewhat questionable in terms of my ability to fulfill that chairmanship. I may have some things under the fire here that I have to kind of plan for. And so I would respectfully decline any possible chairmanship on that. So it puts it on YouTube.
So-
Well, you came up with it.
Yeah, go ahead.
You had a plan.
Yep.
I had mentioned to Julie's in talking that, you know, and I know that typically, I said we give it to the person's up for election, so,
Right.
you know, I thought maybe since, you know, we could split it 6 months.
Right.
And since Barbara is chairman presently, I would make a suggestion, maybe keep her in there for the 6 months as a continuity thing. And then at the 6-month period, you would take over if
be
you're
like
willing,
last year.
and then you would have it for the following
Right.
year, 'cause that'll be your election year.
Makes sense
Sounds
to me.
eminently reasonable if it sounds good to you, Barbara.
Absolutely.
All right, so,
I will make that motion then to
Okay.
continue with Barb for chair for
okay,
6
and I'll
months.
second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
And I will be happy to maintain the Zoom as long as we decide we're gonna keep the Zoom option as part of it, so whoever's chair can be the
Well-
chair, but I'll be happy to keep the Zoom on.
Yeah, and Julie mentioned that Selectmen doesn't necessarily have to do the Zoom. Somebody,
No, we
we
don't.
could have, somebody
Absolutely.
else maybe, whatever, but that's.
Somebody-
what-
somebody
because
more
you sort of-
techno.
You gotta, you gotta figure it out,
Exactly.
which is good.
All right, well, good.
All right,
Perfect.
so
I
we have that.
appreciate
Beautiful.
that
Yep.
opportunity for all of us to work together.
That works
Okay,
out.
the first thing is the Jackson Highlands town property, which was a discussion we didn't anticipate having at the town meeting, and I'm personally glad we did because I learned a lot that we probably didn't go about this in the best manner. It should have been done through a public hearing if we were going to sell property and made public to the abutters. So we have the abutters here tonight and we have the interested parties here tonight. So from our side of the desk, Do you guys have any suggestions? We talked about creating an easement for the driveway, and then we talked about selling it merely, pretty much to get it off the books of the town, which was just a formality and it involved dollars. But do we want to revisit an easement, or do we want to, before we ask for comments?
I don't think we have any opinion one way or the other, really.
Well, I sort of, but it comes from Kevin, okay, because I remember way back in the
Right.
email that he sent that was a potential to have an easement,
Right.
all right? And so Kevin, maybe I could ask you, did you see some advantage to an easement as opposed to just selling it outright in terms of control of the property, making sure that it isn't harmed in any way, like that virgin forest that's out there and all that sort of stuff? What was your sort of reason about that?
Well, now that I think you guys passed that, the warrant article before that was RSA something, I don't know what it was. It gives the Planning Board and Conservation Committee to put input on it. And I think the Conservation Committee should definitely have some input. And my suggestion now is the town to keep it, make it a little don't touch zone because it's half wetlands. If you look at the thing, and then give them an easement. And make the easement the least impact possible to the neighbors and to the actual piece of land. That's my suggestion.
And did any of the abutters that are here want to comment on this at that point?
Yes, Lori Keenan, 41 Jackson Highlands Road. Matt bought a property with my understanding that he knew where he had the access. So there's no hardship necessarily that I think he's facing, except for the inconvenience of putting in a long driveway or changing the location of the house. And I would be interested to know who decides to grant the easement, and then does it go to a vote? That's question number one. And then my last thought is, Matt did stop by my house on Saturday and showed me where, if granted easement, the driveway would go. And number one, it's right across from my house, and Jackson Highlands, from Jackson Highlands Road to Maple Bush, where he is grandfathered in, where he proposes to put that driveway is kind of on an S curve, and then he's about 50 yards from my driveway, and then I have a driveway about 20 yards above me. And I just think for such a long stretch of road where there is some curving going on and some incline where people actually, they accelerate when they're going past my house because it's a corner and you're going up a hill. So it just seems like that would be kind of an unsafe, busy area, and that is a concern.
And if I'm right, by putting the other option was putting the driveway on Maple Bush, but the incline on Maple Bush was there some issue with that, Kevin, that the, for plowing or access or anything was not conducive to putting the driveway
I
in
think
that
what it was
area?
is his driveway was just gonna be, under the 15% grade, somewhere in
500 feet.
and it was gonna be over 500 feet, and then they had to create either a turnaround or a place where like two full trucks could pass each other.
You have to do both, turn around and wide enough so two trucks could pass.
Just another comment about where the driveway comes out, or where it could come out, and it has to have, I think it was 181 feet of visibility left and right, so it couldn't come out on a curve. You'd have to, I'm really confused where it would come out and adjacent to your driveway. You're down the hill on the right?
So I'm the first driveway on the left.
Going up or down?
Going up the hill.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I envisioned, because looking at the plan, you go around another corner and then there's like a straight section there, and that's where I would think the driveway would come. It would be the closest portion to the house, would come right in, and there's a little piece of wetlands that comes down, and just below that, that's where probably the easement would come right in and go right to their house.
And- Go ahead.
This is Henry Morton's old property, I assume?
Well, it's that full is it the full
David?
property? Yeah, it is the full property, yes. But his house was lower, and they subdivided another lot above that. They basically split it in half.
So they split it in half, that's
And
it.
then the town property is almost 900 feet of frontage on Jackson Highlands.
Right.
It's small, 50-foot long, like 900 feet long.
And so for where you decided you were trying to put the driveway, are there other options that would come into play that would make your neighbors happy?
Yeah, I mean, the proposed location is actually below Laura's house. And then we could even propose it lower, so it certainly wouldn't be straight on with our house if I were pulling in the road. It's very easily achieved.
And is that satisfactory to you at that point, or is it still too much?
So I guess I'm a newcomer to all of this and proceedings. I guess I just don't know how we really got to this point, because he bought the property knowing that he did have access. So here we are, and I don't see the benefit to the town except for Matt's benefit.
Yeah, and it's, you know, from our standpoint, the goal is to have happy neighbors and good things work out. But at the same time, if it meets all requirements and the driveway can technically be approved, then,
Okay.
you know, that's where we are from that standpoint. I think if anybody wants to build a driveway and they have the right to build the driveway, that's their prerogative, as long as it fits the letter of the law and works out for everything. I would personally be uncomfortable doing that, knowing that you're having an issue with your neighbors before you even move in. So it would be nice to have an approachable resolution, I guess.
Could I make one
Yeah.
suggestion that may just delay this just for a little while, but a site inspection, we don't usually do it. Done it in the past with selectmen, maybe planning board, building
That totally
inspector.
makes sense.
Go
Just
there
go up there
and just
walk
let's,
show 'em where it's
and
gonna
with
go.
some of the people involved and look at it
Yep.
on the ground. If that just might help us a little bit and try and do it, expedite this as fast as possible. Before we
Andy,
get into it.
hold on. Andy?
Yeah, I mean, I think Matt and I talked after the town meeting, and he's amenable to obviously doing an easement instead of buying the property.
Right.
I know we actually drafted an easement.
Yes,
on his
before we,
behalf Before, with actually the prior owner being,
Before I
the
even
before even owned the property. And then it kind of shifted to trying to buy it. And so I actually redrafted the easement and trying to take in consideration the concerns that the neighbors had to say, listen, we're not gonna clear cut anything else, like it's literally just to put that driveway in. You know, we would obviously maintain it, we could do no more than what we need to do just to put that driveway in, and we can talk about, you know, the location of that as well. I think doing a site visit might not be a bad idea. I think the way the statute is written that you guys just passed, right, it has to go to the planning board and the conservation commission for a recommendation. And then there's this process where you have to have 2 public hearings on this, right, before. So it's a little bit of a process now, but it gives at least neighbors and others, you know, the opportunity to, you know, figure out if there's a way to address their concerns. I think if we want to do a site visit, my recommendation would be that it's submitted to the planning board under that statute.
Right.
I know the planning board has, I think their next meeting is on April 14th.
yeah.
And then the Conservation Commission's meeting is on April 4th. So if the select board could vote with a recommendation to submit the proposal as an easement, and I even have the draft of the easements if you want to have that submitted to them, and then have the planning board as part of their meeting, either before, I don't know if the site visits usually happen before the meeting or in conjunction with the meeting, but they could do that, and that way, you know, the neighbors could go, we can, you know, HEB can come out and figure out where they think, you know, it makes sense to have a driveway. You know, I know Matt, he can probably speak to it. I know after the town meeting, he went and spoke to as many people at the meeting that had voiced their opposition, just to say, listen, this is what I'm planning to do, and here's, you know, I understand what you're saying, this is what I'd like to do to try to make everything happy. You know, I mean, I understand that he has access on Maple Bush, but as, you know, it's already been commented on, the length of the driveway is significant, the grade is there, right? I think during the town meeting, they even raised the issue of, okay, if he does this driveway, it's, less than ideal for emergency type vehicles
Right.
to go up there, where a driveway right off of Jackson Road just seems to make the most sense, but.
It's definitely the most convenient, but.
Yeah, and
has
we want to be
noted.
considerate
Right.
of,
Right.
and I know Matt does too, to consider of his neighbors.
David, for the planning board, any thoughts or comments on
Check with Bill.
timing?
Doing site visits,
Okay.
'cause we do,
Okay.
site visits.
And then
It's
Jay, did you
rare.
have a comment?
Is that a separate lot, or is it just the right of way for the roads wider there? Is it a whole separate lot, the one the town owns?
It's two pieces,
It's a lot of
actually, two
record.
long sections.
It's a lot of record.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 2 lots. I have a
Yeah.
picture of it if you want.
It seems like then a site visit and then the 2 meetings on the 4th and the 14th of April and bringing it back to our meeting after that would be the way to go. And
That'd be vetted by our lawyer, I would.
yeah.
But I don't think,
Go
I'm not
ahead.
so sure if we should recommend an easement or anything yet until after we do all of this.
Right.
Because it was suggested.
But if we
to
take
me.
this meeting and the recommendations to the planning board, the conservation commission, and our attorney with the easement that you've prepared and start that process, and again, including all of the abutters to see if we can come up with an agreement that's amicable and logical and meets requirements and needs for emergency equipment, et cetera. Does that sound reasonable?
Can I just ask a quick question?
Of course.
Okay, thanks. Linda Charity. I'm just wondering, so when it comes to easements, does that mean, does the Board of Selectmen, do you guys have reign over picking and choosing who gets an easement? Does the town get to vote on who gets an easement? Because to me, it just seems a little absurd that anybody can buy a piece of land with, doing their due diligence and know that this is, what they're going to have to face. And then after the fact, here we are, kind of, gritting heads a little bit and not wanting to be doing that, but we're being forced to when the land that was for sale was marked out and the entry was into Maple Bush. So I'm just wondering, who decides at the end of the day that you get that easement?
Yeah, the selectmen do have the authority to grant an easement. I will say that we have done it a few times and it's not something that we lightly do. And it does go to the planning board first for approval and all the abutters are notified. So it has to go through a process and at the end of the day, the selectmen approve it. So I've seen, because David is my husband and he's on the planning board and he does the abutter letters and they get sent certified and everybody has notification and a chance to voice their concerns or approval or whatever.
Right, well, that sounds like it's going down a better road because to a lot
Yep.
of us, this was just news that was like, what?
Yeah,
This is a
and
little
you know,
crazy.
like I said, we all learned a lot at town meeting, so I was, not for your sake, Matt, maybe, but really glad for my sake and others that we learned a lesson and know a better process to move on now. So I appreciate the input and I think that we'll take this down that path, that we'll talk to the attorney, our attorney, and then you've already put your billable hours in for the easement wording several times now. Just kidding. So we'll,
That might not like it, but.
but we'll take it down the correct path, looking towards an easement in an amicable way and getting a site visit done.
Do you
So-
want copies of the easement agreement now, or I can email them?
Email would be best, because then we can just forward it on to the attorney.
I can do that.
Okay, and then please, if either any of the 3 parties here feel like you need more communication or you're not hearing about something, please let us know. I definitely encourage you to get e-news or talk to the office, look at the calendars as far as when meetings are being held and what the agendas are on the meetings. Okay, and I think we said, Conservation Commission is April 4th, Planning Board April 14th, and then our next meeting will be April 12th, I believe. So, yes, the 12th.
Are there any conditions in which an easement wouldn't be granted under certain conditions like this?
I don't know of any. That would be a question for the attorney, I would think. So, yeah. All right. I will I will make sure we get dates out to all the emails. And would you guys mind giving us your email addresses moving forward to, I think, Andy, I have yours, and Matt, I may have yours, but if you two would maybe just write on the attendance list your emails, that way we'll make sure we have you on in the loop. All right.
Is everybody sort of satisfied right now as to where we're at?
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And it's nice to meet all three of you in person too, out of all this. Yay. All right. Next item is a highway truck proposal, which Gary is here to talk about, and thanks, Matt and Andy.
Thank you.
So, Gary, would you like to make your pitch to us?
Sure. I don't know if you've had a chance to read the statement that I came out with, but I guess that explains it pretty much.
A little bigger font next
It was,
time.
What's that?
A little bigger font for me next time.
I'm sorry. I'm proposing that we replace
that sure is what you put mine.
our 2014 Ram 5500 plow truck. It's got 90,000 miles on it now. I mean, the truck's still running fine. We've had some real problems with the hydraulics. It's not a great system. We've replaced the hydraulic pump 3 times. The hydraulic tank's leaking on it now. It's at a point where it should be replaced. So I'm proposing we get another Ram 5500. The truck has been fine. It's worked fine. It's a very capable vehicle. We would set it up as we did for that 2016 by HP Fairfield. They did a great job with that truck. Because it has a plow, it has a wing, and it plows as big a swath as our big Western Stars do.
Right.
And with the winters that we've been having, those trucks are more than adequate. You know, we're not having big, huge snow winters like we've had. Not saying that we won't again, but we have purchased a brand new Western Star, big truck.
Right.
So we have a new one of those, and if we get this new 5500, we could start using our older Western Star a lot less, and probably get a few more years out of that.
I like that.
And you know, it's half the price of the big trucks. Uses half the fuel, and we'll do the same job.
Do we have the money in the capital reserve fund
We
already?
do for the truck, and I believe when we get our next installment, we'd have enough to complete the whole truck. If we order the truck, it's gonna take us 8 months to get the truck.
What?
Yeah.
If we actually order our truck, what we want for a truck, it takes 8 months to get the truck, and then it'll be another couple months anyways to get it set up. So we're looking at another year before we actually
See it on the
have
road.
the truck.
And where are you purchasing it from?
Crosstown Motors. And I got a price from Crest, and I got a price from them. There was $1,000 difference. Crest was $1,000 cheaper, but Crosstown Motors is a certified repair shop for that size truck. Crest will not work on those because they're too big.
Gotcha.
I've been to Crosstown. They have 2 brand new lifts to work on those trucks. They have the mechanic staff to work on the diesels.
These are the Rams you're talking about.
Right, the Rams 5500s.
Right. The big ones.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would prefer to go that dealership that, you know, any type of warranty work, they'll
Absolutely.
be able to do that.
Yeah.
So could I just say, just in summary, could I just to make some bullet points here, we have a 2016 Ram 5500. You want to replace the 2014 Ram
Right,
with a 2022 Ram,
right.
right? And the 2022 is going to cost $120,000. That's truck and plow.
Truck
Once
and
you're done
plow,
with it.
sand it, ready to go.
All equipped, right? And then we get to the 2014, that I see that Chief Henry has shown some
I think
interest
Jay likes
in
it.
having that as a
Yeah.
forest truck.
Replace our old army truck, forestry truck. We're trying to, if we do that, we're gonna be a more friendly vehicle for everybody to drive throughout the year, windstorms and everything, so be much better set up than what we have now.
What about the hydraulic system?
We're not gonna use that.
Don't need that. Okay, just making sure we're stating everything there. And then what would you do with the old forestry truck?
We paid a buck for it from Hanson Air Force Base, so whether we keep it down categories in for a flood vehicle or something, or whether we can find a local fire department that might need it or something
Okay.
like that.
So you don't need to keep it on the fleet, you would be replacing
No,
it versus
I
being,
mean, but
yeah,
if it sat down there and you needed it, or I mean, we used it heavy for flood, for Hurricane Irene,
yeah,
but so unless there's a fire department that needs it or something.
Gotcha.
But we only paid $1 for it, so.
Yeah. Oh, you said $1. I was wondering what you said.
well, it's worth more now because there's gas in the tank.
There you go. So quadruple.
That's right. So,
Chips.
Nice.
The chips.
any questions, John? Any other
I
questions?
just want to just make a statement about Gary and his thinking out of the box a little bit and being innovative about this. And making a big change, because it's dramatic, it's a change to say we're not going to get another one of these big trucks, but you're using climate as an example of why we don't need that many. I think that's pretty cool. And the first thing you always say is to save money.
Right,
And that's
I'll try to save money.
So I think you've hatched a pretty good plan here, and I can support it.
Okay, great, thank you.
I'm in favor, I just can't believe the lead times, but,
We got all the money in
Yep.
capital reserve.
Yeah.
yep. And that's a great place to be, to have the money to
Yeah.
not have to ask for it, so,
Yeah, if we didn't have the money, I wouldn't have asked. I
like that too.
Good idea.
you learned that when you was a kid. No. All right, well, I will make a motion to move forward and purchase the 2022 Ram 5500, and I'll see you next year when it comes in.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
I'll second it. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you for
Great.
the legwork, I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
What color are you getting?
Same color, the maroon,
Good.
keep them all the same color.
Just wanted to
And
make
Gary,
sure.
when we, just a side thought, when we get to this, looking at this easement possibility and all that, maybe you can be around for that too, just so we can, and we'll- Gary and Jay, I suppose, too, just to get everybody in there and say, okay, what's best? Especially you, Kevin.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, so we have on our agenda next, transfer station bulky waste and asbestos dumping. So we had a situation at the transfer station where a local inn deposited an old safe and it has asbestos and other metals and things on it. So I guess we need to dispose of it properly, but our question here is whether or not we want to send back a letter to the inn requesting to be reimbursed for the money to dispose of it, and I'm totally in favor of that.
Did they know? I mean, do you have to know?
I didn't,
I don't know if that
we
matters or
don't,
not.
yeah, I don't know.
John spends more time.
I don't know the actual circumstances of whether they knew it or not. I don't
Yeah.
know personally. Did you talk to anybody, Kevin, up there?
Yeah, so from what I learned from the whole ordeal was they came up with two safes and threw them on the metal pile. I guess the doors, the locks were not working anymore, so
They're open.
you could open the doors, yeah. And one, I guess, spilt out a lot of asbestos.
Oof.
The other one was panels that were actually in there. So when they were cleaning up the scrap pile, which they usually do with the old machine, and they noticed that, and so they went over there and wet it down and cleaned it up and contained it. So then the next question was, how to get rid of it. So I found out about it, and I called DES, and they were all concerned about them cleaning it up, and I said, well, what are they gonna do, just leave it out there, blow around with like the wind?
Yeah, right.
So anyway, they had it contained, and they had two recommendations. One was to actually try to call one of the landfills and get rid of it, but I've tried that before, it doesn't work because you gotta be licensed on like this end to identify it and properly label it and do the paperwork. So we have a couple jobs going on in town right now with asbestos removal. So I contacted one of the local businesses, and sure enough, they came up, and it's actually going today. They
Good.
hooked it up.
Oh, nice.
So it's going, yep, all labeled, and all the paperwork went to DES, and as you know, it's not cheap.
Right, it's a little over $400.
How much did it cost you?
A little over $400.
Yep.
So,
That's the going price.
yeah, but I'm glad it's taken care of, and I
Yep.
appreciate you doing the
Excellent.
legwork on that. So, I think to be legit here, I will make a motion to send a letter to the inn to get back our $400.
I will second that.
All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Kevin. I think we might need to get a handling fee on that as well. All right, we have received letters for the following board member appointments and reappointments. I'm going to read the list and the appointment position instead of reading each person's letter. And that's because our wonderful office staff has forwarded all the letters to us, and we've all had an opportunity to read them. So I'm going to read all the names, the position, and we'll make one motion. Okay?
Sounds good.
So, and I'm going to start off also with the first one is Jeff Siers on the Conservation Commission. He is not seeking another term, so I do want to say thank you from the Select Board that due to circumstances that he isn't able to commit to it, we really, really appreciate that he served that time, and hopefully he'll be able to come back another time because he did a great job.
And he's going to help us with the community garden.
He is
So
going to
he's
stick
gonna-
on
he's
and
gonna
stay
stay
with the
for that,
community
so.
garden. Yes. So we have a letter from Ken Kimball reappointing on the Conservation Commission. We have a letter from William Terry for the Planning Board. We have a letter from David Campbell for the Planning Board. We have a letter from Kathleen Doherty for the Planning Board. We have a letter from Alicia Hawks for the Old Library Management Committee, Eleanor Spears for the Old Library Management Committee, Marilyn Rhodes for the Old Library Management Committee, and Barbara Terrio, the Honorable Barbara Terrio, for the Old Library Management Committee.
Ms. Mount Washington.
And then a letter from Elizabeth Hughes for the Library Alternate Trustee, and a letter from Marcia Scoggin for the Library Alternate Trustee. So I will take a motion to approve all of those reappointments or recommendations.
I will make that motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you
would-
all.
Yes, thank you all. And I would also like to mention that we have open alternate positions, 2 vacant on the planning board. One is a 3-year term, one is a 1-year term. And we also have zoning board of adjustment, 3 vacant alternate positions are open. One is a 1-year term, one is a 2-year term, and one is a 3-year term. So volunteers, please sign up. All right. Thank you all again for
I think we
your.
have one right here. We got a letter.
There you go.
Oh, she did.
Oh, awesome. All right, that is our board appointment.
It's like the Army, everybody takes one step back, so there's you standing there.
This is true.
You know, what I would have to bring to the table, like, I mean, background experience.
For which committee?
Just turn around.
For the planning board, yeah.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Just have to fog the mirror. That's all you have to do.
All right, the next item is the EMPG grant. And Emily, do you want me to read the motion first, or do you want to comment on anything here?
Why don't you read the motion first?
Okay.
Yeah, and I can take any questions.
The Select Board, in a majority vote, accepted the terms of the Emergency Management Performance Grant as presented in the amount of $3,500 to update the community's Local Emergency Operations Plan, LEOP. Furthermore, the board acknowledges that the total cost of this project will be $7,000, in which the town will be responsible for a 50% match of $3,500.
So, this was what was going on a year ago. But we finally, there's a lot of delays with the federal funds coming into the state. So we now have been awarded that grant, and we just have to accept the funding. The town's portion, the 50% match, that $3,500, we're gonna be working with June Garneau again in Mapping Solutions to go through those different meetings and taking attendance of everybody who's gonna be participating in those. So that should match the match, make the match.
Perfect.
So I don't know if anyone has any other questions. This is, they did extend the performance period to August of 2023. We anticipate probably starting in the fall. A lot of towns have all been backed up with their emergency management plans being implemented. So anyways, I've already been in touch with June and said we got notification. So just waiting on that.
Hurry up and wait.
Acceptance. So pending your acceptance, I'm going to be meeting with Julie tomorrow, and we'll get all the paperwork and everything in. So.
Perfect. Well, I will make a motion then to accept the grant money of $3,500 with the town matching the other $3,500 to update the community's local emergency operations plan.
I will second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So you know all the places you need to sign?
Yes, I see them and I'm going to do that. I'm going to turn it sideways here, so I will do that. Thank you,
Okay,
though.
awesome. They're very strict.
Yes.
And when you
Why
said-
don't, if you stick around, I'll make sure
Okay,
it's done. Right.
okay.
You said they're gonna start fall of 2023?
That's what we're thinking of, yeah, it just kind of works out with everybody's schedule.
Okay.
Probably September or October. I'll be in touch. I'm not sure who is going to be representing the select board, if you all. We haven't really.
You know, we have the
I
liaison.
think at one point
so-
we decided that, but now time's gone by.
Yeah,
I think it was me.
yeah.
I think there
It's
were
me.
many other meetings.
Yeah.
We got
We
time.
can talk, yeah, we got some time,
We've
but we
got
can
some
talk
time.
about that, okay.
It's
All right, and do you have a
Pretty simple.
COVID update for us?
Yeah, so I think I've been in touch with Julie and watching numbers, they continue to decrease. There is a concern of the subvariant. You know, I always kind of look at what's going on in Europe and we tend to lag. But we do continue to be the most highly vaccinated town in the state.
Yay.
So that's pretty exciting. But so just working, talking to Julie and just with Rick to the ambulance, seeing sort of how, and I spoke with Kevin, how, you know, that things are easing up at the hospital as well, unless that's changed in the past. Okay. We talked a little while ago. They're basically dropping the masking requirement here at the town offices, but it's greatly appreciated if folks come in, you know, one person at a time, using good judgment. Don't come if you're sick. That will proceed that way for the
Sounds
foreseeable
good.
future. So,
Keep our fingers crossed and stay healthy, right?
yep, exactly.
I think personally, the respect of other people and the, you know, showing that respect is huge, no matter what, whether it's kids, adults, or anybody, just respecting that if people still want to wear a mask, that we should still be kind and ask if they prefer us to wear masks, because we don't always know people's health situations, so.
That is exactly it. That's what I tell folks all the time. You have no idea what's going on in
Right,
people's lives. So.
right. So, thank you very much. All right, we have a request to approve the continued fly casting instruction at the Kids Pond for the North Country Angler customers and to stock the pond for Kids Day on June 4th, and they would like our permission. So can I have a motion to let them stock our pond and go fishing?
Sure, I'll make a motion that them stock the pond, and also I'd like to add that I like my trout crispy.
I'll second, but I don't eat fish.
All in favor of the fishing day? Aye. And that is on June 4th, and I really appreciate them doing
Yeah,
that,
that's
so
good.
thank you, Steve. All right, the Facilities Committee. So I got really excited after town meeting and sent out an e-news asking for volunteers and saying, oh, we're gonna start in April, etc. So I have 14 volunteers, including myself or whoever, one selectman at least.
15, I just sent you an email.
Oh, sweet. 15. So I'm really excited because when I look down the list, I have someone from the school board, I have someone from the Conservation Commission, I have emergency management, the select board will be represented, the planning board, another school employee, someone from the library, and other citizens. So I'm really thrilled at the response that we got with 15 volunteers.
The old library had a meeting last night. We do this now and again just to make sure we're all right. We would like, as a whole, to be on that, with one of us always coming to the meetings. Whenever we
Okay,
can.
so an old library representative.
The old ladies and the
The old library ladies.
Yeah. One
Don't change those
representative.
words around.
But I think that's really the important part, is making sure that someone from each of the committees, or each of the boards or the committees in town are represented, as well as citizens, town residents, taxpayers, everyone needs to be in on this in order to make it a success. So I'm thrilled to hear that that we're getting a lot of traction on this. Now, my email also said, let's set up a meeting for April, the end of April. And I think when we talked at town meeting, we said we hope to really come back with something in a year. So I feel like setting something up for April is not too soon. And of course, having many volunteers and trying to get a time on the calendar is going to be a tough situation. But what I'd like to do, I would like to volunteer to be the liaison from the Selectmen's Committee.
Okay.
So I don't know if you want to be, or you can bump me off if you want to have an election.
Good.
You're good?
Good.
All right, and then we'll have it probably as a continuing, just depending on our agendas moving forward. I will send out some calendar invites, and we'll decide if we're going to either do Zoom meetings or if we're going to do live meetings where we're going to meet. I think that we can come up with some ideas in the meantime of, I'd like to have ideas pre-meeting, so we talk about, do we want to meet at a location of a town building someday, you know, like the school one time and the town hall one time and the fire station one time, and see what all the buildings look like and what the capabilities are. Or do we have, you know, a barbecue? I don't know. So I want to hear all kinds of input on this. And then from the really more formal side of it, Sarah Kimball, who is also a volunteer on the committee, has shared all of her information from the last long-range strategic planning that was done. So I'm really excited to share that and move forward. So, Jay.
How are you gonna keep the other two selectmen up to date? Are you gonna talk about it quarterly, weekly?
That's why I said we'll
every 2
keep it
weeks?
as a pending item on our agenda, and that way if we have a meeting of this committee, then it will be an update on that next selectmen's meeting. That way all the selectmen will be involved if there's anything that needs to be done. Barbara, did you have a comment? Okay. And we do have a $25,000 amount that was voted on as well. And I'm really hoping that we can do so much of this without having to incur any costs. However, if we do need to look outside of our line of expertise that we have on the committee, then we do have funds to use outside sources. So thanks to all the people that emailed me, and please don't stop if there are other people who want to be on it. I think we can get to a point where we may have a lot of people on the committee and we can form subcommittees with different agendas or goals. So I don't think we can get too much traction. We can always have people waiting in the wings or adding their value. So anything else on that?
No, I think there's a lot that has to be decided, you know, as to how fast we want to move this or that, but as you say, you want to get the ball rolling, so April, and then from there, we decide all the options, whatever we come up with, including maybe just slowing this thing down a little bit. So let's just see how it goes.
I think that was the vibe we got definitely from the two town meetings from the school and the town. So good.
Can I just make
Of
one
course.
comment? The last week in April is school vacation week.
Oh, okay, good.
So we can do it before then.
Yep. Not.
Are you going somewhere?
Yeah,
Nice.
actually.
Bonnet?
That's not too exciting. I'm taking my mom on a road trip.
Oh, nice.
That's
Oh, road
exciting.
trips are
Kidding me?
fun.
Visiting all the relatives.
Nice.
Oh, Emily.
Before
Driving
there are
Miss
no more
Daisy.
relatives. Exactly. So
Are they all New
I'll
England?
be coming in here back to town at the end of the month.
Is it New England or is it like
Down
spread?
Virginia,
Oh, Virginia.
the eastern seaboard.
Beautiful.
Very nice.
Nice.
Well, safe travels to you,
Nice,
but we'll
nice time
talk
of year to
before
go
then.
there. You know Virginia.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Next is Jackson Falls parking and stickers. So we're a year down the road after we decided to give full-time residents stickers for Jackson Falls. And we went through the year and we heard from several not full-time residents, but taxpayers who wanted parking stickers and were very upset that we were banning them from the falls. However, we weren't really banning them. So anyway, what it came down to was a lot of happy people and a lot of empty parking spots over the year. So I think that, Barbara, you're here to continue on this, and we talked a little bit about making it open to taxpayers.
I think that, first of all, the difference from last summer to the summer before was monumental. I mean, just driving by, because when you live on Carter Road, you go by every single day, you see
Yes.
what's happening. I think that we had a great deal of help from our police department. They are like amazing. And they really regimented an awful lot of it and really kept everything at bay very nicely. The fact that, that we did have complaints, I agree, but we had to start somewhere.
Right.
So what we had talked about is, and there are three things that I want to say. Number one, first of all, everybody that has any kind of a new car that's like anywhere near has mafia windows.
Right.
And so putting a sticker on the inside of the back window, no one can see. So I propose that we get new stickers that will go on the back side, on the outside of the window, that everybody will still do face-in parking. I'm sure the chief is totally gonna go with the same thing that they've been doing in the past with the 2-hour check.
Right.
And I thought that was totally ingenious, and they were really nice about it too.
Yes.
Even sometimes going down with a bullhorn. And it was great, I mean, and that's what you need to do, and not make people feel like that's just, they're just getting a ticket for the sake of getting a ticket. We also, a lot of the media has turned away from a lot of the ads that used to be on when you come to Jackson, what do you do? A lot of that has now shied away from Jackson Falls.
Right.
And hopefully a lot of people that came here will forget how they got here. And, but also, so I think that traffic has been done. I would really love, we've already ordered the stickers, which is great. I would like to see two things happen. Number one, I did check with Jeff, but didn't hear, and I'm so sorry he's leaving the conservation committee. But I will check with Ken as to when this kiosk is going up.
Right.
Because that informational kiosk is going to make a huge difference in the type of traffic that we're going to get there. Also, that the resident-only parking signs be changed to sticker parking for residents.
Yep.
And then if anybody's got a question, if they're a landowner and a taxpayer, they can come down and get a sticker, but they need to have a sticker.
And if we could have the signs look like the sticker, so you know what sticker it looks like,
We can even put a sticker on the sign.
Yeah, something that identifies it. Fix it. Yeah, but we also had, so of course we always have to talk about how are we going to do this, and Gloria and Karen were very generous about when people came in to register their vehicle. That was a perfect time to give them a sticker. And we still are making the stickers no cost, so we're not charging for this at all. So how do we do it now? Would someone have to bring their tax bill in to verify that they're a non-resident?
Yeah.
So I want
And I think that if they want the sticker that badly, that's exactly what
but I think
they'll
that we'll define those rules, and it's early. It's only March now, so we're not going to have a lot of people parking yet. But knowing that we have the stickers on there, I want to make sure that we have the right way to distribute those stickers and make sure people are are able to have them. The other thing is expiration date, and we really do feel like it should be something that people do renew. So I do want to keep the expiration dates on those. And I agree with you, the police did a great job of really regulating it and making sure that there weren't as many offenders. Any other thoughts or?
How many spots are there for resident parking? Three.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to see one of them at least stay for full-time residents, because, there's so many summer people that take all three of those spots. And
Then we'd have to have two stickers.
Yeah.
boy, I just,
That's the thing. And you know what? The biggest complainer of residency now parks at the disabled one all the time. So we don't even, we're not going to hear that. I didn't hear anything last year. The only thing I heard was residents going down there, and there were people that were parked there that did not have anything. That was the complaint we were getting.
The other thing is I think we would have to have two stickers that way, which I don't care about two stickers as much.
more of an honor thing to say, hey, full-time residents, one spot. Two for non-full-time residents. If they honor it, they honor it. They don't, they don't.
Yeah.
I just think, rather than be that particular, seriously, John, I don't think it's worth it. I don't. I really don't.
John just wants his own parking.
I'll come and pick you up, all right?
No, I think-
I can walk down there, I'm not worried about that, but it's just.
No, I hear what
I
you're
just say,
saying.
whether they honor it or not, again, I'm not gonna throw a sticker, a ticket at somebody.
But
but-
people that, the resident only, seriously, that I had really been really heard from, and not a peep last summer. So,
I remember we heard from somebody whose family had been living here 100 years, but they visit now. Not they're not here anymore, but you know, my grandfather founded this thing, and he worked for the town of Jackson, and it goes on and on and on.
good for you. It's
And,
probably the same guy that now
Okay.
wants to be buried in Jackson Cemetery.
oh, was that right?
Okay, we won't get into that. But anyway, so I think we're on the right track. We'll confirm with Karen and Gloria. Lycan has also offered that they could give them out at the library too, but I'm not sure how you'd verify residency and stuff, but we can work with Karen and Gloria, and if that works out as well, I think that's a good solution.
I think it will, and I think this is, that they'll even be more willing to do it now, knowing that they can not get all the barking.
Yes. And I would love to see less signs at the falls, but, you know,
Until we can somehow get it under control.
I know.
You know, and the thing is too, that haven't been up for that
That's it.
long a period of time, and I just drive by them now. You know, like
I
it's
know.
like they were always there, because that's the only control we have. We have no control.
I really, I do want to
Because-
follow up on the kiosk too, though, so.
But the kiosk would be just so good, because is it that entrance, that main entrance where everybody goes down into the falls? That's where the kiosk should be, and it would be so informational, because it would be so historical. I know that's what it's gonna be,
Yeah.
you know, and so, it's just that it's been in the works for like 3 years.
All right, yeah, I'll look into that and push that if I can.
I just
Okay.
texted Mike Dufalo, see if he can shoot me a quick thing.
Okay,
Cool,
I think it
thanks.
was getting close.
good.
But thank you.
All right.
It's been fun.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
All right, well,
It's been real.
I'm glad it, we had a year to do it and it worked out well, I think, so. All right, the next thing is the extended liquor license for the Wentworth, and this is for the town of Jackson, giving permission to the Wentworth Hotel in Jackson to serve alcohol outside of their licensed area to accommodate outdoor wedding receptions being held at the Wentworth between the dates of May 1st through November 5th, 2022. Private property owned by Atlantic Equity Partners, and the proper liquor license has been obtained from the state of New Hampshire. The town of Jackson does not have an objection with this request. This also talks about the tent walls being closed the entire time the tent is up. While any amplified music is playing, noise levels will not exceed 90 decibels as measured from the center of the tent, in the tent as measured by a calibrated decibel meter, and music will not play any later than 10:30 p.m. I will take a motion to approve that
One
extended
quick,
liquor license. Yes?
Just this summer, I happened to cruise by a couple of weddings and stuff
Yeah.
like that, and there were a lot of people who were drinking outside the tent.
I know.
Multiple weddings around town. I think that might need to be, because their liquor license, I'm sure, does not carry outside the tent,
Right.
walking around the property.
Does on the porches too.
It does on the porch
Porch is,
though, yeah.
porch is part of it, but this
Yeah,
is
but
between
under-
those and,
yeah.
you know, walking across the street and, you
Yeah,
know,
across the
carrying drinks
street,
through there.
I don't know, I know that there are like fire pits between the porch and the tent. So I'm gonna go down and introduce myself, because I have a wedding for my son there within this time period, so I wanna know what all the
You
rules
have to
are.
abstain
So
now.
I
You
don't-
have to abstain.
I'm not telling you what date it is, but I'll learn the rules and let you
All
know.
right.
Get a picture of her carrying a drink.
Two.
My only question is this, it says 10:30, hasn't it been traditionally 10 o'clock?
No, 10:30.
No, it's
Yeah,
10:30,
all right.
yeah,
That's all I want to make sure. Okay.
yeah, so,
Actually, some of the places close a little bit early, knowing that they're not going to get them out of there until 10:30.
exactly.
The music
I'll make a
shut down
motion
pretty
to
good.
approve the liquor extension for Wentworth Hall.
I'll second it so that Barbara can have a good time.
All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Signature. All right. We have applications from, these are permanent applications for property tax credits and exemptions. There are 4 for veterans and 4 for solar, and I will read the map. I'll read them each separately. So for a veteran exemption, it's map V10, lot 22 for Mangan. Veteran map R14, lot 5-1A for Heidemann, veteran map V03, lot 38 for Howe, and veteran map V01, lot 47 for Pratt. And then for solar exemptions, we have map V09, lot 17 for Darcy, map R17, lot 12 for BEGOR, Begor, and then map V08, lot 20 for Cobras, and map V03, lot 40 for Kimball. I will take a motion to approve all.
I'll make that motion to approve all
I'll
those.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And gentlemen, I have signed these, but if you will stop and sign those, there are many pages. Would you sign for the liquor license? All right. The next, this is signature here. Next is a motion to accept money that we received from a grant from the for the community garden. So back a while ago, a grant application was sent for $2,000 from the Pequawket Foundation for the community garden plot in Jackson, and we have received that grant money. So I need a motion to accept the $2,000. The community garden.
Oh, here?
Yeah.
Back here,
Going right
somewhere.
up back here.
Yes.
Should be free.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to accept that
Bye.
grant.
Thanks. And thank you, John. I'll second.
Okay.
Oh. All those-
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
God, Frank Knapp.
Okay. All right. Assessor contract.
Jason?
Yeah, it's out of order here, that's all. I'm just-
Somewhere.
Equipment purchase. Did I miss this? All right, there is nothing in my folder. Julie, am I?
Barb, it's not in there.
Okay, we just have to make a motion, or is it FYI only?
It's just an FYI that we, that you guys already signed, earlier on, you signed the contract. It was approved at the budget hearing, or at the
At
meeting
the
for the
town.
44,000.
Okay, right, so
Well, Rick,
this
make a
is the,
motion.
yeah, so this is the contract for Jason Call, our tax assessor, and his company, and their rate went up from $40,000 a year to $44,000, which was included in our annual budget. So it's an FYI that we did approve that at town meeting. All right, the next, if I have to put you in the corner.
Sorry.
The next is, I wanted to share this information because I thought it was really important, and really kudos to Hank Benish for all of the filming he does at most of the town meetings. He sent me these metrics. Hank said that we had over 150 viewers during town meeting and between the town meeting and the school district meeting. And Hank was live streaming it, so we had over 150 viewers during these two meetings. And I think that's incredible. Plus, we've had another 30 plus views after it's been posted on Jackson Flicks. So that shows a really good input and involvement in our town, I think. And maybe not everyone is a resident or a taxpayer, but I just really appreciate all the work that you do at all the meetings, Hank, and for sharing that information.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Really
You're gonna
valuable.
start
Yes,
selling
thank
ads?
you.
Yeah,
Good
yes.
one.
Kudos to you. And you're so responsible and punctual, like, really appreciate that. You never run in I gotta get my equipment set up. It's awesome. Sorry, I will ramble. All right, the last one on our discussion items here is a grant for a local equipment purchase program. And we are applying for local equipment matching program, which provides support of up to $50,000 per New Hampshire locality for 90% of the purchase price of safety and emergency equipment needed as a result of or in response to the health crisis and its negative effects. And this is likely, well, we've been talking about it. The generator for the fire station sounds like it's the most logical choice for this, but this is just an FYI that we're still applying for it.
Who found
And
that?
say,
Who found that grant?
Emily?
No,
Julie.
Well, this is not that grant.
Oh, that's not this grant?
So this is for the vehicle.
I'm sorry.
This is a vehicle.
Can you speak to this
So
then?
this one is
I'm
the
sorry,
50,000.
Julie. Go ahead.
Oh, okay, so this is a separate grant. This is not the one for the generator.
My bad.
That's 195,000. This is a grant that we're trying to get. It's for purchasing vehicles. So we submitted the application in hopes of getting 50,000, and the vehicle that we've just gotten approval for through you guys was for the PD
That's
new
right.
vehicle. But what we can do is if we do get that grant and it goes through, we can shuffle money around to equally distribute, that expense to other areas that may need it.
Okay.
Nice.
Sorry, I got confused on that.
Who got the grant?
Julie, you found this, right?
Is this a gopher?
Yes,
What's that?
this is the Gopher grant. Who found the grant?
Oh, I get emails all the time on grants.
So Julie got it through an email opportunity, so.
Specific, different grant.
Yes, this is a totally different grant that was sent to Julie, and it's an ARPA SFRF, which is,
So is it the ARPA money or is it an ARPA grant?
no,
ARPA
it's
grant?
totally different for special equipment. It's totally different than the 95,000.
The municipal ARPA.
Okay, so this is an FYI that you have applied for it.
Yeah, if Jay needs more info, he can come to me.
Okay, did you hear that? If you need more info, okay. All right. Thank you very much. All right, we have a really big item here. We have this Lions Club bench that is really cool, I think, and it's made out of the recycled plastic. We have to decide on the color. Guys,
Easily.
I already put my 2 cents in. There's a brown color, which is called Treehouse, or a dark green color called Forest Canopy. And the only reason I picked darker colors because I think if it's going to be outside, it could look dirty if it's a tan or whatever color. There's a link on an email that Julie sent you guys, unless you want to, if you want to look at the colors, or we can defer to Julie. Or
What color do you want?
Brown or green?
brown or
Brown or
green.
green? Pick one, brown or green.
I like brown.
You like brown? Is brown good?
Brown bench.
Brown's good.
We vote on a treehouse, which is the brown color, and we have to decide on a location, but we can do that when it gets in and closer. But I think it would be awesome either on the front porch here or at the community garden. Those are my two cents.
All right, you get change back.
Not me, I'm 2 cents. Okay, so treehouse brown, Julie, if you don't mind placing the order.
I will do that.
All right, thank you. All right, so now we move on to our short-term rentals, and we have a couple of applications to approve here. I believe Julie made copies of these for you, in case you want to review. So the first one is for Michael Gothy at 683 Dundee Road, 3-bedroom tax card, 3-bedroom septic, and they're advertising 2-bedroom sleeps for. So this is okay to approve, and I will take a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve 283 Dundee Road, Coffee.
683.
683, excuse
Yep.
me, 683.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, so the next one is at 37 Old Jackson Road, 3-bedroom tax card, no septic, no building permit on file. So they are going to send an advertisement once it's approved, as we have done in the past with a few others. So we can make a motion to approve this pending their advertisement.
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve
Sorry,
37
they actually
Old.
sent that advertisement in, so we're good.
Oh, okay,
Okay,
perfect.
all right. This is
I
just
was in, I will second.
Are you second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, and the third one is 36 Middle Mountain Road, Robert and Beth Gennaro, and it's a 2-bedroom tax card, 2-bedroom septic, 2-bedroom building permit, advertising 3-bedroom, sleep 6, so they need to change the 2 bedrooms, but it's, it can still sleep 6, being that it's a 2-bedroom. So we're still gonna ask for them to change the advertisement, but I think based on the 2-bedroom sleep 6, they should be okay. Right, so, do we want to approve this, or do we want to make them, ask them to change their advertisement first?
I think we should
I think they need to change their advertisement.
I think that's
Yeah,
probably
because it's
wise.
3 bedrooms.
It won't
they-
take them but 5
Right.
minutes to do,
Yeah,
once they know.
Well, you can approve them and then give them a violation if they don't.
that's true, that's true,
We're a nicer board than that.
yeah. All right, well, I will take a motion if somebody wants to make that.
In the motion to deny, is this
Either one, you can make a motion to deny it.
deny until they change the advertisement as far as how many people can sleep in the unit?
All right, so we will,
We'll second.
and all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, not approved, okay. We're
So that's
still, oh, the Nannies at 20A Cottage Drive sent in their information. VRBO is now collecting their New Hampshire meals and rentals tax, so they are okay to approve.
Make a motion to approve
Second.
20A Cottage Drive, Nani for SDR.
You seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Which one am I looking at here?
That's C,
Oh, okay.
it just says pending Nani.
Oh,
Okay.
yes, okay.
There you go. All right. We have no complaints, which is just a wonderful thing. And then building and driveway permits. Kevin, anything notable on there?
I mean, the only comment that I can make is at the Beagle Mountain House, I think everyone noticed they demolished the barn.
Yeah.
But that would,
Hey.
That was easy.
Yeah.
I could have knocked that down.
I was surprised how bad of shape that building was.
It was in bad shape.
It was bad, yeah, it was, I mean, I had pictures from like 6 or 7 years ago of the silo, and at that point it was only like 6 inches off the building, and
Oh, boy.
this past year was almost 2 feet, so things were moving in it. And then I took a lot of pictures before they did take it down. And in the center of the building, there was some major sections that were totally rotted because the roof was leaking. It was structurally not safe. It was definitely a fire hazard. So
How old was that building?
Oh,
I really don't know that, but there was a lot of reused lumber in that from probably another barn somewhere.
He was saying 1900s, early
Wow.
1900s.
we were hoping the Barnwood builders would come out and, grace us with their appearance. That would have been kind of fun.
That would have been.
All right.
Pretty cool.
David, did you want to address?
Please direct your comments to the board, please.
Oh, boy.
No dinner for you tonight. No dessert.
That was very.
See, it's not just me.
All right. Any other comments on the building permits? No, we're good. All right. Upcoming meetings, April 12th. Frank and I will be talking about our vacations, and
No, I
it'll
won't
be at.
here. That's
Oh, that's when you're not here.
actually,
That's right.
I get back the next day,
So,
unfortunately.
you
Unless
can
you want to
Zoom in.
move the meeting.
No,
Wednesday, or
no,
Thursday.
we're
You
good.
can always do it Zoom, no matter where you
Yeah.
are.
At the airport.
All
All
right.
right,
Cost me?
so the next meeting is on April 12th. I do plan on having a Zoom option because I think it offers great
Great.
participation. So it will be live and a Zoom option, and that is at 3:30 April 12th. And then the following meeting is April 26th at 3:30, and so far that will also have a Zoom option. Any public comment? Emily?
I did just hear from Mike Duflo, and they're hoping to get the kiosk into the ground soon after this ground thaws and before the summer tours, so. That's good.
Awesome.
So it could be tomorrow, I don't know, the ground's thawed. Yeah.
That would be great. Do they have the kiosk designed and everything, or is it all set to go, or is it?
Well, I guess they made a motion at the last meeting to hire a company for building the frame and doing the installation. But he wasn't involved in reaching out to that contractor, so they do have somebody, I guess,
Great.
poised for that.
Thank you for that update.
Yep.
Anything else? All right. I will take a motion to adjourn at 4:38.
I'll make that motion to adjourn at 4:38 and a half.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you all for attending. I appreciate
I
it.
got delayed.
I know. What, 4:40?
So is this owl thing ours now?
No,
We
like
got
and
$1,000?
bonus,
Maybe
isn't
we ought to
that
be
just
getting one?
amazing?
Right? Should we be getting one?
No, it's
Yeah,
$1,000.
the carrot stuff.
And Lycan got it through a grant, which is just incredible. I